Well, we received the latest inflation data this morning, and in the travel sector, prices for travel tours accelerated about 26% year over year in November. However, airfares were down roughly 17%. So what does this all mean for the sector, and what can we expect for travel demand in 2024? Let's bring in Robert Kokonis, President and Managing Director of AirTrav. Thanks so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, airfares coming down pretty significantly, but is that just because this is a year-over-year comparison and, you know, this time last year or November of last year, prices were climbing?
Yes, essentially what it is, and it really depends. It's market-specific. I'm talking transatlantic travel went like crazy this past summer, and prices were up. In the Canadian domestic market, a lot of low-cost carriers beating each other up with Air Canada and WestJet and Porter. Fares are generally down. So I think a better question, where are fares going next year? Are they going to be up? Again, it will depend upon the sector. If I look at the International Air Transport Association, they're forecasting revenues to grow by 7.6%, of which it looks like the average fares will be about 3% and demand about 4%. So I would think a safe bet will be across the board, maybe a slight uptick, but nothing too crazy.
So when you're thinking about the consumer and it potentially being a challenging period, do you think they're going to keep showing up at the airport and they want to keep traveling?
I mean, I've been seeing on this show with you like a year ago, I kept saying we're going to hit, towards the end of 2023, and with all the macroeconomic issues like inflation and interest rates, consumers are going to hit that spend wall because travel always does constitute the leading edge of any recession or slowdown. But so far, that consumer wallet, Jacqueline, has been very, very resilient, and I expect that to continue into 2024. I think what's happening, people are willing to spend money elsewhere, or pull back, I should say, elsewhere, to protect their proposed travel spend.
I'm curious what you're thinking about the sort of makeup of the industry these days as well, and the competition in this space. There was some interesting commentary from Porter Airlines CEO saying that at least one Canadian airline will be gone within 2 years. And there has been some changes, some scooping up of carriers within the country. But what do you think of where things are at right now in terms of the number of airlines out there competing for Canadians?
I mean, it's all economics 101. It's supply and demand. Too many seats chasing too few passengers is going to either drive down fares or make profitability a challenge for some of the incumbents, some of the new players as well. I would echo the CEO, Mike DeLuce at Porter. I've been saying this myself for well over a year, that we probably have one carrier too many. And now you've got WestJet that's pivoted to the West, and they're doing their thing, really branching much more fully into the leisure market. I understand they're a privately traded company owned by Onyx, but they're doing well. Porter's on this massive expansion with jets, and we've got the two ultra-low-cost players. So with all that activity, Air Canada and Transat as well is too much. And I think at some point, not this year, but I would expect into 2025. And again, part of that will depend upon, are we going into a recession, where our oil price is going to, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, Porter has been sort of breaking out of what it was known for and doing some partnerships, too. What do you think about Porter's expansion into that?
I like the Porter story. They've got all these Embraer 195 E2 jets. They had 50 firm, 50 options. They've converted 25 of their options into firm, so 75 firm orders. And their partnership is with Air Transat. They've had a limited code share relationship with Transat since last year, but now they're branching more of a joint venture, so a much tighter form of cooperation. So Porter will feed Transat's Montreal, Toronto international hubs, and Transat can feed Porter's growing presence across North America. Another partnership just announced last week was Alaska Airlines, a One World Alliance member, also hooking up with Porter. So when Porter starts to fly to LA and San Francisco, there's a natural connectivity to Alaska. Alaska's got a very big presence on the West Coast. The last piece, very quickly, about Porter is in the third quarter of 2025, the Island Airport, Billy Bishop, Toronto City Airport is opening up a U.S. pre-clearance facility. That is a game changer because today, if I go to Newark from Billy Bishop, I've got to post-clear at destination. So the fact that I could actually pre-clear, I think is going to be a new dynamic in Porter's operation.
I wonder what you think about Air Canada as well in the year ahead, specifically because we know that is an investable one for our audience. And when we're looking back at the year that was for Air Canada's stock, it's down about 4% year to date so far. I'm curious about the last couple of years. Well, it fell 8% the year before. So, yeah, it hasn't been the best of times for Air Canada shareholders. But what are you thinking about in terms of, challenges or opportunities for Air Canada in particular?
Well, I say overall for the equity market, for the airline industry, up until the end of November, carriers were posting fantastic 3 key results, and it wasn't being matched by results on the stock market. But since the beginning of December, things are really on the uptick. Air Canada, really, to me, is the international expansion story. It's transatlantic. Trans-Pacific, don't forget that Asia-Pacific was the last region of the world to kind of come out of that COVID bubble, and now travel is roaring back in a big way there. So Air Canada, for example, just added a second daily flight into Hong Kong from, I think, from Vancouver or Toronto. But that's indicative of where they can go. Asia, South America, Atlantic, those are the big marketplace. If I looked at Air Canada's yield for this past summer, it was flat because, again, all that competition from the discount carriers, from Porter, from WestJet. So I think Air Canada, they need the domestic feed, but they're really squarely focused on international. So I think there's still growth in upside on that Air Canada stock. We just got to wait to make sure that the current leadership, Mike Rousseau, CEO, and his team are managing the current environment. Not to mention, where is oil going with the Red Sea situation? Where is inflation going to be? Where is debt going to be? Just quickly on debt, I know that, for example, I added the International Air Transport Association's forecast for next year, 2.7% net profit amongst their 285 carriers. But interesting that because of interest rates, return on invested capital is lagging interest by about 4 points. So that's important because airlines are a very capital-intensive business, and where interest rates go, we're going to watch that very closely, Jacqueline.
When you're thinking broadly about the industry too, what about the staffing levels? And I'm thinking about that, and how they're able to handle some of these situations that come up. When you think about this time last year, the travel disruptions in the holiday travel period that we're seeing, and that weather is a huge factor, of course, but it's also managing through those sorts of instances. How do you see, maybe this year playing out, but also in terms of the staffing and the ability to be able to successfully manage through those moments?
Well, the average traveler in Canadian doesn't like to sleep on the floor of airports. That happened last year in a couple of cases as well. I don't
blame them.
I don't blame them. And then, of course, south of the border, Southwest Airlines had a major meltdown of their systems, and that was a disaster. Southwest has said we're going to be ready this year. But again, north of the border, most of our agencies, whether it's the airlines, the airports, Canada Border Services Agency, our security screening company called CATSA, they're all kind of they staff back up again. So I think, barring a major catastrophic snow or ice storm, we should be good. One lingering concern now of Canada, which runs Canada's civilian air traffic control system, they're still playing catch up from their staffing drop during the pandemic. They've been running courses. They've got a college in Cornwall, Ontario, and we're still waiting to get that up to level. But for example, last night I came from California, and flow control into the Toronto region, Montreal and Vancouver have also seen flow control. So when the airlines see those kind of delays, that's the problem I've got, which is, only the airlines are prospectively being penalized financially by Canada's airline passenger protection regulations. We have to, recognize that all the other players in the ecosystem are part of the solution as well, too. And thankfully, though, at least all of these players I just referenced have been having very good discussions amongst each other and also with the federal government the past 2 months.